colleagues, I wear an interesting hat because I've got a daughter in public schools and I'm a business owner, and I suspect, hopefully in my next business, I will end up paying this tax. And so I'm also on the Joint Committee on Student Success, and I went all around the state with folks. And in the back of my mind, as we built the plan, I kept awake at night some nights thinking, who's going to pay for it? Because while we were constructing the education plan, I also have to think about what's the effect on the business climate. So I'll give you two real examples as just in my world of real businesses and how the tax would affect them. One is a 100-year-old fruit orchard. I was involved with it for 18 years. We gross about $800,000. Our Oregon sales are probably only $100,000. So we export most of it. We sell to an ag co-op. We'll get a certificate from our ag co-op that those sales are going abroad. So we'll have about $100,000 in Oregon sales. Won't be subject. Even if we were, I would get to write off 35% of my cost of goods sold. Again, no way I'm going to get anywhere near $1 million. And this is a good, healthy business. It can support two families easily. Maybe, I don't want to talk about them too much, but the ne'er-do-well nephew or cousin or son-in-law who doesn't really work that hard at harvest but still wants his dividend check, those kind of people, it can support at least two families and some hangers-on. And so I really believe when we say we're going to hit small businesses really hard, that's just not accurate. And I would say it if I thought it was. I am not very partisan. I am not very ideological. I would say it. My computer business, for 19 years, I've run a small computer business. I probably never hit more than $400,000 in sales. Those were all Oregon sales. And a lot of times I would get to bring home after working, my tail off and staying up all night and worried I was going to get sued. I might bring home 90 grand, 80 grand or 90 grand a year. Again, not going to be subject to this. And even if I got bigger, I would still get to write off 35% of it. And so I would have to get really pretty big to ever get over $1 million in Oregon sales after writing off 35% of it. So those are two real examples. Now, in the startup world, I'm involved in another one now. We're going to lose $1 million+ this year. We have revenue of about $800,000. We're going to lose over $1 million. Do I want to pay a tax while I'm losing money? Absolutely not. But you know what? I got spoiled by being in Oregon for so long, where everybody pays taxes on net income. I just got a bill from my plumber. And I'm telling you, we're losing $1 million this year. My plumber last week charged me a sales tax of $1,685 while I'm losing money. So 45 other states have sales taxes. Those of us who are losing money in our startups, we still pay sales taxes, but not in good old Oregon. So I got used to never having to pay when I'm losing money. So now maybe, yes, I may have to pay a little bit. I may. But what's the trade-off? Last night I went with my daughter to an open house for her middle school. And I saw all these kids with their hopes and their dreams that they're going to get a good education, and none of these kids are coming from wealthy families. And this is their one shot. And so for me, as we debate other things that provide more security to families who aren't able to enhance their skills, who aren't do their things, I get nervous about things. I get nervous about raising the minimum wage to $15. I want the person to have value added to themselves before I pay them $15. I don't want to just give them $15 an hour. But education is the solution to those kind of problems. If we invest in these workers and they can add value to themselves, they can help us as employers make more money, and that's how this economy grows. So I want to say thank you to a couple people specifically. After 97 failed, I heard OBI in particular say, we will come to the table and we will negotiate. And most people thought they were lying, that they did not. It was just a trick. It was just a tactic. And about 2 weeks ago, OBI called myself and several others and said, we have an offer. We're sincere. Can you buy us more time? And so I took a leap of faith and said, I'm not ready to vote for this thing. My district is wildly in favor of this. I guarantee you that. But I said, I'm not ready to vote for it. And I want to thank the Speaker for taking a leap of faith and engaging. I had other members who I respect tremendously tell me, you're naive, you're a fool, and they're trying to trick you. And OBI will never get to neutral. And with hard work and engagement, they got to neutral. And I don't want to say any employer doesn't count. I don't care if it's Nike, a big employer that gets a lot of scorn. They provide tens of thousands of jobs and tens of millions in revenue. I like Nike. I wear Nike. I like them as an employer in this state. But I also like every little small business, some of which are going to have to pay some more in taxes.
Excuse me, Representative. Representative Reardon yields his time. Please continue.
Thank you. So I want to thank OBI for keeping their promise. They said they would come to the table in good faith. All of 2017, Representative Reardon and I and others were like, where's the table? Where's the table? When are we going to get a revenue deal? We couldn't get it. We couldn't get it. Well, now we have one that at least brings a large part of the employer community on board. I think with a couple more small tweaks, we'll get the Oregon Farm Bureau to neutral. They were right on the edge, but we need to make some more amendments. And that's because this tax doesn't hit any one sector particularly hard. And particularly if you're an exporter and you're bringing money in, it doesn't hit you very hard at all. The last thing I want to do, colleagues, I want to thank the business people, and this may grate on some. I want to thank the business people who are going to pay the tax, because they're already working very hard to take a risk and put their capital on the line and employ people, and they would probably rather not pay the tax in some cases. Some are happy to, some are not, but particularly for the ones who aren't. They're making dreams possible for kids like the representative from East Portland was. I was the first generation to go to college in my family, and without public education, there's no way I could have got to this job. There's no way I could have started businesses or employed people. I just would hope that the mills did not shut down in Coos Bay. That was it. But public high school, public college, Oregon Need Grant, now called Opportunity Grant, federal Pell Grant, all those things made my life possible. And if I have to pay some more taxes in order to make sure that that ladder of opportunity is still there for the young people in Oregon today, I'm happy to do it. I don't love it, but I'm happy because it's a value investment in an educated workforce and a society that my daughter can live in and be proud of, and hopefully be part of Clem Enterprises and start her own business one day. Thank you for your attention.